Hello and welcome to probably the hottest episode of Sheepdog Says ever. Today has been ridiculously hot. I've been lounging around all afternoon on the sofa asleep. But this morning, my wife had made the, quite frankly, insane decision to go on a 10k run with her friends from our the nursery that Bosco and Lampup go to after school. They're trying to practice for a, I can't remember the distance it is, but it's the Great Eastern Run. They shut down a load of roads in Peterborough. I want to say it's 20k, but I might be wrong. It sounds right because they've just done 10k runs the past 3 times to get up to that speed and get used to it. They're doing the full run in October. Today they decided to run the Race for Life, which is the cancer research charity run. And I was so impressed with them, bless them. They did a really good shift. My wife's average time across the 3 runs she's done at the 10k is probably about 1 hour 10. I think she was 1 hour 11ish, but she's been 1 hour 9, so I'm putting it kind of in the middle. But it was such a hot day. It was so ridiculous. I mean, we got there and they're all in a really chipper mood, and you know, we all geared up. I'm impressed. This is the most like set up, arranged run they've done so far. The atmosphere was great. People were so ready. They were all talking about like family they'd lost to cancer and things like that. It was an emotional kind of morning. And then off they ran. They did their run, and I had to try and entertain 3 kids with my mother-in-law. The baby was fine. He was laughing his head off the whole time. My 2 just didn't get that we were there to support my wife. They wanted to run and play in the playground, bless them. But we were quite lucky. By the time I'd got them to the field, to the cafe, got a drink and walked outside, I realised that they were probably coming around this bend for like the 5k mark. And so we stood there for a few minutes, and then I just saw my wife, and I was like, "Hey!" I shouted so loud that Lampup started crying because I made a jump. I got him again at the finish line, and I probably made a jump at the start as well. I was quite loud and enthusiastic, but no, I'm so shocked at the end of it all. She looked like she hadn't done anything. She ran to the end of it. She was just like, all right, a bit hot, obviously. She poured water over herself, but she's chatting away with us, waiting for her friends to finish, and can't believe it, the contrast between this one and like the first few, which she was still human after, you know, she was still normal and running around afterwards. But I think if I tried anything like that, I'd probably be laid up for weeks. I mean, I've been laid up all afternoon just from being out in the sun. I was wandering around. I had a hat on, I had suntan lotion on and everything, but I was knocked out. We had someone knock on our front door, and I jumped a mile. I was like, what day is it? Who am I? Where am I? And all this. I want to talk about other charity stuff we've done over the years, really, now, because I thought that would be quite an interesting topic to cover off. Because she's raised a bit of money for cancer research. Her big plan is to help the nursery raise money. They're doing this big run so that they can fund new parts they want to add to the building and all this sort of stuff. So that's a good cause that will benefit lots of people over a longer period of time. You know, it directly gives back from the fact that they've looked after Lampup since she was 2-ish. They've looked after Bosco since he was 2-ish. And the baby will go there when he's older as well. He'll be 1 soon. So in a year's time, he'll start going there, and then he'll be ready to go into the school, and he'll go to after school club. So either way you look at it, we'll have probably had something to do with this place for at least a decade at the time. I mean, you got to think that Bosco's only just started school. He's got another 5 years. Lampup's still got another 2 years, but she's been going, you know, she's been going 7. So we're talking, I can't even do the maths here. 7, there'll be, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's got to be about 15 years we're going to be paying these people, if I did the maths right there. I lost track midway through, but that's a long time to be sending people into and paying into a nursery. It's quite mad to think about it, because we have been paying into like other nurseries over the years, like the baby goes to one at the moment, that because they don't take 2-year-olds at this one, but he's been, you know, he's going to this one, and I'm thinking the second he's old enough he's going to the other one. You know, it's just what we've got laid out. But to think that we'll have known them from Lampup being 2-ish to the baby being I can't even think 11, just seems ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's blown my mind. I've not done anything running like before. Running like, you know, any kind of endurance marathon type things. I've done one, and I feel like it's a cop-out to say it, because Kev calls it the marathon, what we did, and it's not. It was difficult. He dislocated his kneecap, but we did a 30-mile walk, basically. And we went from Peterborough city centre to Rutland, a brewery in Rutland. They're about 30 miles apart. It was meant to be about 26, 27 miles, maybe, if that. And someone sent us the wrong way. They told us of a I don't know, they told us a certain route would be better to take, and when we took it, we ended up doubling up on a mile or two, and when we worked it out afterwards, we'd done 30. But that was probably one of the weirdest days ever. It was a good 8 hours of walking. I was very, very hot at the end of it, but I always feel a bit odd because when I got to the end, I was dancing around with my daughter, I was drinking, I had a pizza, I was fine. The next day I woke up and was good. There's some quite funny and quite weird moments along the way, very cartoonish life moments. I got a tiny blister on my little toe and put a plaster on it because it was annoying me, and I just wanted something to cushion it so that it didn't get bigger, didn't do my head in, didn't just become a problem that did my, just drove me nuts. And I'm told, because I wasn't there for this point, but I got the box out, put a plaster on, covered myself up and everything, and then we don't know whether they fell out, the rest of them, or whether that was the last one or what. But about 3 hours later, I was further ahead, and somebody in the group just had like a major issue they needed to deal with, and they looked in the pot and there was absolutely nothing in there, and I'd been the only person who'd opened them, and she was like, no, because bless her, she needed it more than anything. And I always feel a bit guilty because I didn't do anything to cause it to happen other than the fact that I was the last person seen with it. For all I know, hundreds of people could have used it. I say hundreds, there was only about 10 of us walking, but they could have just fallen out. But it's one of those moments where you just feel like I really didn't need it at that point. I was just staving off the inevitable problems. We saw some properly creepy stuff. We were walking through the countryside. We saw someone had nailed a load of animals that they were turning into meat on a wall to, I don't know, dry them out, age them. I don't really know what it was, but I thought people did that in like enclosed barns where bugs and stuff couldn't get in, not the front of their house. There's just all these dead animals hung up, just nailed there, drying out. We had a girl join us, a friend, the friend who cried to the heavens in pain. She brought her friend along with us who was going to help us raise money, and she brought a bit of money into it and everything. But then I think about 2 miles in, decided to go home because she'd brought flip-flops, and she just wasn't prepared for the walk in the slightest. And I remember us all thinking, is she going to be all right? Shouldn't she get something a bit better on her feet? I remember saying to her, like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, it'll be fine. And then like hour and a half in, I don't think I can do this. And we're like, yeah, you think? And then she just sort of slinked off at the first pub and got a lift home. I just thought some people were hilarious. I think we just chugged on as normal. There was a guy who kind of snapped about 6 hours in and just started running. I think he was in so much pain from whatever he'd knocked that he just started running and then lost his mind and disappeared. And we didn't see him again till the end. There was a couple of younger people who were much quicker than us, always walking in a distance. When we got there, again, they were just there having a drink, didn't really say much. But I feel like me, Kev, and our friend at the time, Becky, were just chugging along as normal, just going for it. We were only maybe 20 minutes behind the healthy, athletic young people. I don't know what happened with the guy who ran, but it was a very, very weird day. We were raising money in that time for a girl who had it wasn't exactly a tumour. It was like it was like a tumour behind her eyes, pushing down on her brain and her eyes, and she needed to go to America for special treatment, and they needed money for the treatment, money for the fact that they had to go out there for months, and it's just generally an all-encompassing, we need as much money as we can. So we wanted to donate to a cause, and one of the ladies who did the walk with us, she said, I know someone who needs money desperately for a cause. So we did that, and they were on the news and all sorts. It was a big kind of national mention about this poor girl, and she was all right in the end. I think I tracked her for a while. She was definitely all right for as long as I was tracking her. I've not looked in a little while, but they had really good treatment and had really good effects, and she'd won all these different bits and pieces. And I think it's been a couple of months since I looked at, because I have like the group come up on Facebook now and again, and everything seemed to be going really well. It's a mad thing to think that I never actually met them or anything like that. We just sent the money over. It felt good to know that we weren't going to get involved. We were like, whoa, we sent this. We just sent, I can't remember what it was we raised in the end. As a group, I think it was in the thousands. It was like $3,000 or something like that. £3,500, I think. And just to think that we just sent that to a stranger and said, there you go. I mean, I'd love to think if I ever had a problem with Lamp Up or Bosco or anyone, like the baby, anything like that, that we could do a cause and people would rally around like they did for this family. It was just a really good experience to be involved in. Other than that, I mean, we've only ever done like raffles and stuff on Mature Gamer, and then we've donated to Special Effects because one of the guys had a bit of a affiliation with them. And again, it's a good cause. I always feel a bit awkward with causes where you're worried that people aren't going to give as much. They did, they gave well, but I just felt like people want it to go to something preventative, and it's hard doing one on a gaming platform when you're like, oh, I want to give to this one. So I always feel like someone's going to say something, but so far people have been good. I know it sounds like a really bizarre thing, but I always have this nervousness that people are going to be like, why are you raising for that? My mate always has a joke that he wants to donate all of his money to like the donkey sanctuary or retired greyhounds, which again are important causes, but he feels like there's so many other things going on in the world that he'd love to think that he was absolutely making a difference to a cause that probably gets neglected, and it should become an ongoing thing. I'm trying to think of just all these silly ideas and reminders are coming into my head. That this same friend with the donkey sanctuary thing, he donated, so we were getting prizes together for the walk, and we started giving stuff away to raise the money. And my friend got drunk at a charity ball and bid a couple of £100 for a pair of football boots worn by a Chelsea footballer called, I think it was Deco. And he was like, I don't know why I bought them. I was drunk. Can you get rid of them and donate the money to your cause? So I was on Twitter trying to find Chelsea fans who'd buy them, and I found a fan who spent a few £100 on them. And after it all, I suddenly thought to myself, there was no certificate of authenticity. I just sent this guy a shoebox full of a pair of football boots, and he'd paid me a couple of £100 for them or whatever it was, and I'd put it in the pot with the rest of the money. We had a crate of beer donated by the brewery, and then whoever won it never claimed it. It sat in my living room for about a month before I just one day thought, you know what, I'm having that, and I just worked my way through them. And I just thought, if he ever asks for him, I'll tell him it was a crate. It was like a crate of 24. Like if he ever rings, I'll tell him it was a crate of 12. I'll tell him it was a crate of 6. I'll tell him it was a crate of 4. I'll tell him that he doesn't exist, and give him a tenner. And he never came back. I don't know who it was, but we left it long enough. We put a lot of shout outs out, but I think I earned that. I did the walk, damn it. But no, that's the bit I enjoy a lot, I think, about it. Was going to, not the beer, but going to people and saying, what can you give to help us raise money? That's the bit I'm good at. That's where my power is in all of this sort of thing, because I can go and say that. I was asking around. I asked a hiking company if they could help us with a discount code so our group could buy stuff. And the bloke said, we don't really do that, but what I will do is send you a pair of boots. What size are you? And he sent me a pair of walking boots that I wore for the next 6 years. They were perfect. When they broke down, I went and bought a new pair because they're just the best footwear. I'm trying to think what else we got given now. Obviously, there's loads of gaming companies got involved, loads of local companies. I think my mum and dad won an MOT. They paid into our raffle and they won their free MOT from Quick Fit. Buy a gift, donated a special gift thing that somebody did a bungee jump with, which they then raised money for something else with. Somebody else donated an Arsenal shirt that was signed by loads of people, and then my friend won it for his girlfriend's mum or something. It was like one of those mad things where I got all this stuff together and other people pushed stuff in, and then our friends and family all piled in loads and loads of raffles, and all our listeners piled in, and it was a great feeling just seeing everyone winning stuff and thinking, when you're doing it yourself, you do get to see the prizes go out. And I feel like we need to do more of that, actually. That's the bit that gives me the buzz, is seeing, because you're benefiting a cause, but then you're benefiting loads of other people around you in smaller ways. And it's been years since I've done something like that. I was chatting to Kirsty earlier saying that, I don't know, because she suggested that. I said, oh, what should I do it about? I was going to mention about a run, but I thought I don't want to just sit there and talk about the run and then run out of time, because nothing ridiculous happened. It was just watching them run, really. And she said, well, you've done lots of charity stuff. Talk about that. And I was like, yeah, but then it sounds humble braggy. But then I was like, it also makes me feel bad because I've got nothing in the pipeline. For a while, there was a talk of doing a Pokemon Go one in the local group that I'm in Peterborough. They were going to do a charity event where they just walked for a stupid amount of distance playing Pokemon Go. I don't know what happened with that in the end. I don't know whether they did it, whether it petered out. Part of me feels like that'd be awesome. If I did the same 8-hour walk, but I was playing Pokemon Go the entire time, probably wouldn't even notice it. I'd be a bit miffed there was no gyms to stop at, unless we planned it that way and we stopped at a gym every 4 miles or something. But because we stopped at pubs in the original walk, and it would have been insane, but I wish we'd drank beer on it, because that would have been quite funny. That it would have been the longest pub crawl ever. I feel like there's something we should do again now, because it's been a long while since we've done something, and even if it was just getting stuff together, maybe even doing a gaming marathon or something like that, just seeing something that would give to a cause. It seems like it'd be a good idea, because it has been a long time since we did anything kind of give backy or worthwhile or a big sort of thing. It always feels a bit cynical as well, because when we do it on the platform we're on, inevitably lots of people hear about the platform, so we used to get a lot of listeners out of it, and you'd be thinking, that wasn't the plan. You know, you don't want to look really cynical, so it's always I'm always wary. Like when we were doing it, the walk about it, people kept saying it's not just about your podcast. We were like, well, we didn't say it was. We're just trying to, you know. So I always get really nervous about that. But the ultimate result of it all is great. People get, you know, a charitable donation. People get items. It's a great thing. I'd love to hear whether you guys have ever done anything amazing like the 10K run that Kirsty did earlier, or the 20K run she's got coming up, or the hike, or, you know, raising money for a cause, or what your big cause is that you raise money for. You know, put it in the comments. If people see other people's comments in there, maybe help out if you can. I won't put Kirsty's one there because I don't want it to look like a begging one. But yeah, it's just great. Just, you know, we're a country that does this all the time. It's awesome. Some countries don't seem to do it. I met a German guy who once told me that in Germany they don't have charitable, you know, here's a bucket, put some money in. They don't go for runs and stuff. They just designate a portion of their wage to a charity, and it comes out of their wages every month pre-tax, and that's it. And part of me thinks that's a good plan because more money goes to charity because everyone has to do it. But part of me feels like it misses a whole load of stuff where people can do a cause and feel really good about it and equally help loads of other people. So, I mean, I might be wrong. If you're German and you always do charity events for people, let me know, because this person told me this and it's blown my mind, because I would have thought a mixed system would have been good. If the British government asked us to donate a small percentage of our wages every wage, plus we all did our own stuff, then that'd be awesome. But apparently the German way is to just go and put it there, and then you don't have companies. I should probably mention as well that my wife used to work for a charity. Like, I'm saying all this stuff that I mentioned maybe for the first 5 minutes that she'd done something, spoke about myself for 10 minutes, but she used to work for Sense. She's a social worker now. She's like the most giving person imaginable. I'm a very lucky man that I'm married to such an awesome woman who does all these awesome things, but I don't really say it to her face enough, so I'm hoping she hears me from the other room and just takes that all as given. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm waffling now. So thanks very much for watching. You know, hit subscribe, comment, like, all of that. Let me know your stuff in the comments. I'm interested in hearing stories. It's always good. I'm thinking I might have to come up with something with either, you know, the gang from Mature Gamer, or just our own thing, or just get behind the nursery, really, because that's, now I've realised that it's at least another 11 years that we're going to be involved with them. Maybe I should be putting more effort in. She's running 20k. I should be doing something other than just lugging 3 kids behind her. But yeah, anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you've had a great weekend. It's Monday. I might be a bit late recording tomorrow because I've got a hospital visit. But yeah, I'll be there as always. Thanks for watching.